Good morning, everybody. Romel Santiago, once again, owner of Romeo Sensation LLC. So today I'm gonna dive into it again. One of the most common things that folks come to therapy for, um, or let me rephrase that, folks come to therapy for a variety of reasons. One of the most common underlying themes is boundaries. Now, I don't know where we got this idea that boundaries are is this horrible word. Everyone has them. Everybody has them. Everything has a boundary. There's no such thing as a person without boundaries. Boundaries are what keep us safe. Boundaries are what keep our energy, keep our emotions, keep ourselves as a human being safe and secure. We all need boundaries, and boundaries is just an umbrella term for different ways that folks can enter into our space, right? A lot of apartments, a lot of houses have two doors, a front door and a back door. But there's also windows. Some places have chimneys. There's lots of ways to leave your building. These are boundaries, right? Those walls, those windows. So how I'm going to explain boundaries is three different types of boundaries: hard boundaries, soft boundaries, deal breakers. So soft boundaries. Soft boundaries are stop signs. Most of you probably live in the United States. Most of you have come across the stop sign. What happens when we go across a stop sign? Most of the time, in my experience, nobody ever makes that full stop unless they're doing a driver's test, right? A soft boundary, there's not many significant consequences. If we roll through a stop sign and there's no cop around, even if a pedestrian comes in or another car decides uh, to to zoom by, we're going so slow that we can prevent any most significant accidents. If an accident does happen, it's not going to be that impactful or that severe. Yeah, it's going to be a pain in the ass, but it's not going to be this huge thing. Right? These are soft boundaries. If somebody crosses a soft boundary, we're going to get irritated. We're going to get upset. My partner is supposed to clean out the cat box every morning. Does he do it every morning? No. Is that the end of the relationship? No. What happens? I clean up the cat box and we have a conversation. Hey, just wanted to see, were you in a rush this morning because the cat box didn't get clean? Let's talk about it. Right? Soft boundary. Now, a hard boundary is a stop light. What happens if you blow through a stop light, a red light? More significant damage gets done. Right? This is oftentimes for a lot of my clients 6 months into therapy. If every session they say that they have not done the homework, we're having a come to Jesus moment. You're paying me regardless. You or your insurance is paying me. You can be in therapy for the rest of your life, but at some point, one of us is going to make the decision that you are no longer going to be a client of mine. Point blank. Do the homework and get to the place that you want to be, or continue to not do the homework, and we're going to have a discharge conversation, right? So, for although this is not going to cause significant distress, right? This is going to be a really challenging conversation to have. This is going to be something that disrupts, right? So for some folks, in ethically non-monogamous relationships, right, the the hard boundary may be, I'm your primary partner. Please do not take secondary or tertiary or external partners to this restaurant. This is where we went for our first date. This is our restaurant. This is something that's sacred to this relationship. Oh honey, I'm sorry. I really wanted that seafood crab cake that this particular restaurant has. It chances are it's not going to end the relationship. It is going to cause hurt and pain. And then how do we navigate through that? Now, a deal breaker is the expressway. I want you all to picture going southbound on the expressway in the northbound lane. Are there drivers out there that absolutely could swerve through? Do we see it in the movies? Absolutely. That's not really all that common. So a deal breaker oftentimes means that's the end of the relationship. Are there exceptions? Yes. Absolutely. There's always exceptions to hard boundaries, soft boundaries, and deal breakers. But when it comes to deal breakers, this is the least flexible boundary that we have, right? So the challenge is, what are all of the boundaries that you have? If you're unsure about which category to put them in, that's fine. But what are the boundaries that you have? Take a look at all of the relationships that you've been in. Familial relationships, platonic relationships, sexual relationships, romantic relationships. This is a wonderful opportunity for folks to use their past experience to identify what boundaries are there. If you don't know if you have a boundary, take the next week. Identify every time over this upcoming week that you get irritated, that you get pissed off, that you feel anxious or insecure. Chances are there's a boundary associated with that. Most of the time, there's a boundary associated with that. It may not be a boundary that somebody has crossed, it may be a boundary that we've crossed ourselves. So I know I'm, again, over that 5 minute mark, but I love talking about boundaries, and just because of the complexity of it and how much it resonates with a lot of people. So I hope you found this video at least amusing, hopefully helpful. And on that note, I hope you all have a wonderful, amazing rest of this beautiful day, and I will see you soon.